Beloved of God, may the Lord fill your minds and your heart with His peace. Today is the Tuesday of the 32nd week in ordinary time, and I've come your way as usual with the daily reflections. Today we celebrate the memorial of St. Leo the Great. We reflect on the gospel reading of the day from the Gospel of St. Luke chapter 17 verses 7 to 10. And we reflect on the theme, our awareness of God's grace. Our awareness of God's grace. The first indication in this passage is that the one at the center is a servant. The second thing we realize is that this servant is hardworking with different or so many responsibilities. Plowing the land, shepherding the sheep, and now cooking. These duties could have been entrusted to the hands of three separate servants, but they are all being handled by one person, and he does them perfectly. So Jesus now puts a question. He starts by saying, will any of you, having a servant who attend to all these responsibilities and now tired, ask the servant to sit while he cooks for him, instead of telling the servant to cook for him to eat before the servant later eats? The answer he expected was no. That although tired, since plowing and shepherding are demanding, and although the master was probably relaxing all day, he would still wait for his servant to come and cook for him to eat before the servant eats, simply because these are his duties and he accepted it after knowing all the demands. However, after everything, the master will not even say or see the need to thank the servant. Of course, I believe none of us will cultivate such a bad habit. What then is Christ trying to put across? Remember, in Luke chapter 12 verses 35 to 38, Christ had already discussed his relationship with his servant and had promised to serve them if they are faithful. The story therefore emphasizes faithfulness to duty no matter the demands. So Christ argues it from the lesser to the greater. That is, if a common servant is faithful to obey the orders of a master who doesn't even thank him, how much more ought Christ's disciples obey their loving master who has promised to reward them generously? The use of the word unworthy servant is not derogative, because the servant is rather a worthy servant and a very important one. The unworthiness here means non-profitable, in the sense that the master owes him nothing extra since it is his job, although he can be motivated, meaning Jesus rewarding us is solely a matter of grace. That as people called by God, God owes us nothing, yet we have a lot, and that is grace. The question is, are we aware of that grace of God in our lives? Are we conscious of the fact that all our lives is grace? We have been unfaithful to our covenant with God in so many ways, yet God has been faithful to us in sustaining and keeping us. So our Christian attitude should not necessarily be how God deals with us in granting us the numerous petitions we ask, but rather the spirit in which we respond to his love. God has become the servant, always at our beck and call. Beloved, God need not reward us in any other way. He need not prove himself in any other way. We only have to remain faithful because his grace has already been set into motion, in that all our life is graced. Are we worshiping God only because he is to become a solution to our need? Have we parted ways with God because we couldn't land that job, or because you lost that friend? Have you given up on God because of that sickness, or because of that disaster that befell your family? Are you separated from the Lord because of that difficulty you went through? Beloved, life may be tough, situations may be bad, and that we are focused only on that which we seek but haven't gotten. What about the many essential ones that were given even without us asking? Are we aware of that aspect of God's grace in our lives, I bring you greetings from the Valley of Prayer in Silence, and have a spirit-filled day favored of Yahweh.